Want to shift like right when the brawl starts, like not even now. When your team gets close, then you want to shift. Why? Because then again, you have less heals to do, hence you can do more damage.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
So like when we're closing distance here, you think you should be heal in 1 damage, or you should be doing like heal 2 damage?
Shoot, heal.
Yeah. Right.
Have you considered a different?
To be fair, I'm not thinking that at the time.
Yeah. Again, I don't expect you to think of that at the time, right? You're focusing on like other shit, but I'm saying these are like small little like, you know, things you can do to get more value, right? Something else also is they have a Hanzo, so I don't think you jump. You do jump. Care this type of stuff, okay? Like just
I think jumping's fine, but it's too high.
Yeah, sure, then jump less, that's fine. Something else also is we have lamp advantage here, so that's fine.
Have you
Why are you
considered a
lamping
different line of work?
I'm calling for an aggro lamp.
Okay, that's fine. Don't lamp where your Ryan is, lamp into them. That makes sense?
I mean, I thought he was going to hide behind cover, and so I tried to throw it a little bit more further up.
Sure, but what I'm getting at is...
But yeah, it could have been further up.
Here. And the reason why I'm getting at this is how often, if there's a lamp right over here, is this person really easily... I mean, maybe it's because of Ryan, they'll swing on it, but like, it'll be harder for them to deal with it. If you throw a lamp like right over here, okay, and like the lamp surface is this, you think this person's going to be able to kill the lamp very easily?
It also baits my Ryan going into the lamp.
Yes. And he'll double key in. Like he should hopefully trust you, right? Like because again you have lamp advantage and it's just good. Like if you're not gonna like lamp like that aggro, the next type of lamp I'd want you to do is like a corner lamp. But like there's no really good corner for you to use. So, and a corner lamp essentially is just like, you know, like let's say like you're pushing into a team over in here, right? You like lamp this corner here so your team can go aggro and then they can come back and stabilize and they can't kill the lamp because it's not a corner. So, what was the rank? It's like 4. What's the rank of this? Like 4K? 4.2? 4.3? No.
Something in the 4K.
Yeah.
4K, 4.1. I think the other team's like 4.4. Maybe?
Yeah, it feels like that.
4.4 or 4.3.
Time to raise my APM.
This is good. Just all I'm gonna say, like that's great and all, but just care your positioning. And what I want to look at actually too is your fall off range is 25 to 45. So when I see you shooting a lot, like I'm noticing that you're like trying to get really close again, but if your fall off range is 25 meters, you really don't need to be that close. Like that's like the maximum damage output, right? Versus 45, which is like minimum. So you just don't need to be that close. Like I'm pretty sure McCree is 20 if I remember correctly. 20 or
the same, isn't it?
I don't think it's 20. It's 20 to 40 is McCree. You're 25 to 45. So you actually have like 25 meters, so you could play further back. Don't need to be that close. Like there's literally like no reason. And you're
I think I was just trying to get deeper out of Mac.
Yeah, but like
I didn't realize that's too deep.
Yeah, but again, like I'm just saying, general thing, right? Like
yeah, but general overall, close.
Yeah. Like this distance is like beautiful because like why I like love this distance is you can see this high ground. You can see this up here. You can sort of like weird, right? But you can see everything. There is no way, like unless someone comes like literally behind you, you're gonna get spooked. And
also in cover.
Yes, it's like a nice cover spot too. You have a beautiful corner. Oh shit, you got rolled.
Yeah. Someone called Cassidy was high ground, and so I, for some reason, decided to jump to do some poke shots. And then ODP went for a slam without really calling it, and so he got burnt.
I see. That's interesting. That's just like sort of some miscommunication happens. Evo also should technically help him out a little bit. I think it's hard for May too, because it's like you take a little time to react to the window. What you could have maybe said is like if they went to a wall, and then that would have been a good call. Your May shouldn't like really have to watch the offing when Cassidy. Okay, you do this.
Let them out.
On the move.
Do you think that window was fine, or should it have just been on the corner?
I think it's okay. I mean, yeah, sure, technically it could have been on the corner. But the fact of the matter is like, one thing to think about is like, what other ults do they have? Do they have anything that like is your like they're gonna like if you window that they're gonna do something else? Do they have a Mei? No, they don't. So like inherently, like you don't necessarily need to use a window to take space right now. Why? Because they don't have a Mei, they don't have another ultimate. So you can literally push with a Mei wall. As weird as that sounds. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, and so in that
The plan
situation,
was. Yeah.
so you're good, right? Like it just whatever the plan was, it's fine. I mean, just think about in the future. Whenever you see a team play like a no Mei, just realize that like you having a Mei is very scary for them. So you can abuse that more to your advantage.
Greetings. Let them up.
So that Hans is on high. It's honestly a bad window either. I don't think it's like bad, but it's just not needed. So, do you see what that Kree's doing? This is very smart. It's a very smart play because you guys don't see him kite that way, and then he gets a really nice off-angle value.
Get through this.
Step right up.
Get in here.
You hear him. Your diva calls it.
Get in the immortality
Dies,
field.
hopefully. No.
Let's get you healed up.
I messed up the jump, so then I
Way
just
too much
gave
healing
up.
here. But I just want to point out here, like, just look how much like healing art is here.
Get through this.
Step right up.
Get in here. Get in the immortality field.
You see what I mean? Like how much you're like trying to like help your team. You
I'm
totally
healing
need-
chip damage.
Yeah, like it literally like you have a cart that heals, man, right? And like also your Lucio is gonna sometimes be moving and stuff, right? Like you just don't need to do this. Like I want you to pop off. Like I want you to.
It might be an auto thing. I think
Yeah.
it's me being auto.
It probably yeah, that's fine, right? And I get that, but it's something you just need to work on.
This is gonna make you feel better.
Yeah, because like right here, I just shot 3 shots.
Yeah.
Fire.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Like, I mean, also just logically think about, right? Like this is like good for all build up too, and you do need to heal. But think about the distance and the fact that you also have a corner, okay? So like just something else to think about, like how much you actually need to heal. If you have natural cover, you can probably heal less. But because you're trying to build a window here, you probably want to, heal. May wall, kite it, nice. Okay, you're hitting your directs. You window now, you window push. Okay.
Yeah, but I window way too
that's
far
fine, that's fine.
forward.
So, again, I'm gonna mention that you don't need a window again. Like, why? Because we have Mei wall, right? We should be pushing with Mei wall here. And then what we should have done was we push with Mei wall. If we get a good Mei wall, then you window with that Mei wall. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again,
The
it's
goal
very
was
interesting.
I just wanted to push with tempo, and I thought the way to do that was just a box.
Right, but the problem is does your box actually get a lot of value if they can like just DM? They can DM it, or they can beat it. What's actually better? A Mei wall? Because a Mei wall splits them up, right? Then if they beat, what happens? We get a good Mei wall. Does a beat get value?
Not
Like-
really.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like maybe, right? Like, it's like, do you see what I'm getting at, right? Like, you can really abuse the fact that you guys have a Mei, because like you can literally use Mei wall almost as an ultimate to help you take space instead of using window, and then you can use window mid fight as literally like a pop off thing. Like literally individual value instead of taking space, because using Mei wall to take space, you can use window to essentially pop off, and you see a low target. Hell, you could like take more aggressive corners, like you can rotate over here, like window, and just like kill people. This maybe when they're kiting away or something. Okay. It's again, it's what you're doing isn't wrong, right? It just you're just like not getting max value because of
Yeah, the idea is fine, but
because of comp. Like, yeah, that's literally what I said happened, right? They windowed. Yeah, sure. Granted, your window could have been further back, but if they beated, right, your window would have been shit. But if you Maywalled and cut their Ryan, and then they tried to beat, and then you windowed mid after, their Ryan would be low. Then they've tried to beat. It wouldn't. The Ryan would be like, hey, yes, I have beat, but it'd be really low. And then you window, the Ryan wouldn't be able to do much. It would have been way better.
It's not my time.
Why is the payload stop? Everyone, get on it.
And nice. So I like how you look up. So one thing to think about, and this is like I got another small thing, is when you're reloading, look around, think, like do whatever you want to do. Like you don't need to reload and just look straight, right? You could, like if you ever watch Korean players, especially like Diva players, you watch Kree players, what they'll do is that whenever they're rotating, like here you're rotating forward, they'll literally reload and they'll do a quick like 180, like quickly look around to see if like is someone hiding over here, is someone hiding over here, right? They'll just do a quick check because why not? You're reloading, might as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Applicable any hero.
Regen up.
Nice. Again, you're healing. You don't need to heal. You just beat. Damage. Team is fine.
Enemies here.
That's good.
Its destination.
You window, you kite, right?
How about a little extra?
Probably don't need to shift there. You always shift before the brawl starts, like right now. And like that's something else I have to look at it again, but like you always want to shift like right when the brawl starts, like not even now. When your team gets close, then you want to shift. Why? Because then again, you have less heals to do, hence you can do more damage.
Thoec Crusaders!
Alright, I love that mid-fight jump, by the way. That's a great mid-fight jump.
Step right up.
Not bad.
No dying.
Ready for battle.
What is...
Ready for
Wait,
battle.
what? Are you trying to like bum rush them or something?
3, 2, 1. Attackers
I
incoming.
don't remember.
Defend objective A.
This is don't put that there.
We also didn't count that they had an honor.
3,
Yeah, you just
2,
DM push,
1.
but oh well, they actually have no
Attackers
speed, so you can
Defend objective
in
A.
the speed. They have that. Yeah, you still just push into them and kill them. But like here again, I'm gonna point out here. Look when you shift. Very small thing.
You're
You
going
shift
too
right
far.
now, right? And you could have shifted just a tad bit later, because shift is it's 3 meters radius, right? And then that's not the correct thing. Sorry, it is way bigger than that. It's 10 meters radius, and it lasts for
Yeah, I don't know.
5 seconds.
I should have. I learned this ages ago, and I seem to have unlearned it.
Yeah, that's fine. Happens. And then something to think about. What I'm gonna also point out is who you shoot, right? Like you sort of shot the diva here. Like in general, who's like the easiest person to farm and get damage in?
Tanks.
Who specifically?
Rhino, Diva.
Yeah, diva.
Ryan,
Yeah,
Diva, yeah.
Diva is like always gonna be the easiest. So like whenever you see like a diva, like always just sort of like think about that. Yeah, I don't know why the guys played there. That's just like not good. And everything about that hold was just wrong. At this point, I would just like. Also, when you're in those situations, by the way, you should.
Gotta realize
care-
Ryan was dead.
Yeah, but you should care a lot about building your ult. Okay, when you're down like 3 or 4 and you know the fight's over, all you care about is building your ult. Okay, you don't care about healing your team. If you can get more damage output and build ult that way, if you like can get value out of healing your team, whatever you need to do, you need to lamp yourself to get like your ult. So going into the next fight, you have window. Okay, that's super important.
Move to the beat.
That's why when you see like KR players, what they'll do is they'll draw out fights really long, so that even if the enemy team uses a lot of ultimates, right, and they start with not a lot of ultimates, by the end of the fight, the enemy team has used a lot, and they have a lot of ults for next fight, so next fight they can just win.
Objective lost.
Hence, they play second a lot.
Stop the payload.
Apparently, everyone likes watching one-on-one coaching.
Bad guys. Heads up.
Alright, same reload thing. Healing a little too much.
Let them up.
Bad, you're gonna have to... But, so, just individual value. That's all I'm gonna keep saying, is just individual value.
Bad guys.
Avoid, high grounds like this, especially when your team's gonna drop,
Let them
because you
up.
can get tapped by somebody. So this is a spam window. Was this a mistake, or was it supposed to be up here?
But no, we were calling to rush in with window.
Oh, yeah, so just so you know, I may know this already, but I'm just gonna say it. There's 3 types of windows, right? There is a spam window, there is a brawl window, and there's an individual value. So spam window is where like that type of window where literally you window everybody and people can just shoot. Problem with that though is like the enemy team can just go forward past it and like you don't get that much value. As well as like it's just really awkward because it's so far forward that when you try and move left and right, it can be really hard to, it can be really weird to get the angles you want. brawl window is when like your Ryan's over here and you're really far back and you just window yourself and maybe a Kree and then your Ryan is forward right and use it to take space. You do the heal shot to like shit ton of heals to your Ryan, do a bunch of damage to enemy team. It's really good. And the individual window, which is something that I really, really want you to practice more and just try it. Like when I was working with Elris before he went to Atlanta, right? It's something we talked about a lot. Like he was like, and I told him like, I want you to just a window whenever you see an option. Like he first was like, huh? And like, then he started trying it, and like he literally would just pop off. He would literally window and get a pick every single time. And that's just insane if you think about it, right? If you use window, which you build like at least every other fight, if not like 1.5 fights, I'd say, right? If you get a pick with it, that's just insane. So
I think I do individual windows, but not in the rush mirror.
Yeah, and in the rush
everything else I do.
It. And one thing you should definitely look at is, I can send you the VOD, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but is like some advanced brawl concepts where it's sort of like if you know that like let's say you window here, right? You know that the enemy team is going to Mei wall it. Then maybe you have your Mei at an off angle, and your Mei then what do you call it, like walls them. So like here, I'll just give you a hypothetical here. So, and I'll explain why this also relates to too. So if you window here, right, where's the enemy team gonna go?
In the room or back out.
So your
most
Mei
likely in the room.
So if you already know this, right, your Mei should be in a position we're not over here, because I'm assuming they have a Mei, because then their Mei will just wall this. So your Mei should be somewhere like over here in this area. So when this window happens, right, and they wall it, then your Mei can wall this over here, and then your Lucio can amp speed and just push into them and kill them. Right now, why this relates to you is now let's say you high noon. Let's say your McCree high noon's over here, and the same thing happens. What can you do?
Window.
From where?
Like on the other side of the Mei wall to keep up the tempo.
You could like window over here or something. Like that's.
I'll do that. That works too.
Yeah, and now you just like flank them, right? Why am I being flamed? You're not being flamed. I'm just giving an example. Like here's another like a much better example. I think it's probably one of my favorite examples. Okay, like you high noon over here, right? And your Ryan's here, and the enemy's like, okay, they're high nooning, so the enemy team will start kiting, or maybe they hold their space. Why? Because they Mei wall it. So they Mei wall it. Let's use blue. They Mei wall the high noon, right? And then the Mei wall is being used, and then your Mei then maybe looks for like a counter wall over here, and then maybe you window over here, and then you like push forward. I don't know. Like I'm just giving some examples. You get what I'm saying? How you can be like clever with your like angles and stuff, sort of like not necessarily stack with your team, and you can go for like an off angle, and you can get a lot of value, especially if people don't scout. Most people don't scout.
Yeah, but then my question is like in this example, wouldn't you want Cassidy to high noon speed him on the outside of the Mei wall, and then when you get to the auto turn, you just window?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like sure, but the problem, my point though, is I want to Mei wall them off here. So this is a Mei wall. I don't want them to be able to kite. I want to be able to Mei wall them back here. So when you Cassidy speeds here, you can high noon and then you window here, and now you've got a window and a high noon. What does the enemy team do? Do you see what I'm getting at? And I'm not saying that you have to apply it this way. All I'm saying is use window from crazy angles, because enemy teams won't be ready for it.
Yeah, I get it.
Just be a little creative. Okay.
Try and do more solo windows, yeah.
And it is totally fine. And what I'll also mention too is you don't need to do this every single fight, right? I'm not expecting you to like try and go like flank window every single fight. But imagine if the enemy team has 5 ultimates and you have 2 ultimates. You think you're gonna win that with just playing normally?
Not really, no.
No. So maybe look for some like creative play, right? Maybe look for some creative flank, or maybe try and get some value from that.
Get in here.
It's the same, it's the same concept as just like bum rushing it down main when they have like 5 ults and cough, right?
Yeah, but like that's like not
if you don't have any ults and they got all their ults, you just try and catch them off guard and see if you can win off it.
Push off.
Let's see something actually. 1 minute. I'm actually curious. I actually haven't done the math on it. But if you jump and move back, is that faster to move back than actually just walking back? I feel like walking back's just faster.
I think just walking back's faster.
Okay, I was pretty sure, but like.
Well, yeah. I got told the hitbox is a little bit scuffy if you jump.
I think it depends how good the enemy team is though, because if they have Kree, you just take a doink and sort of.
That's why I got told to jump mostly, because like Baptiste's like short to mid jump hitbox is like dumb.
Doom fist though. Oh my god. Again, like we're healing a lot. DPS, DPS, DPS. Be more greedy, man. Be more greedy. I don't know if you've ever seen like you should watch like UV or Shu. Have you ever seen them play? They're insanely greedy, man. Like you'll see that they don't heal that much. They'll be very aggressive with, you know, their like min-maxing of damage output. And like again, they'll literally play Bap as like a DPS. It's why like I don't know if you remember if you saw the match, like Shock like put Violet on McCree. Because like he's like, first of all, Flexible is a very mechanical like hero, and he's mechanically really strong, and he's really aggressive, right? So you know he can get away with it.
Step right up. Let them up.
I love your high ground mobility to high ground though. I wish you better aim there, but I love how you moved high ground there to like, you know, a safer position. That type of stuff is really good. I didn't see it. Sorry, X-Cart.
Get behind me. Routing forward shield. Time to raise my APM.
And something else you should also get in a habit of, which sounds really dumb, but like whenever the fight's over, always look to poke and build your ult. Because especially into another team, right? Half the time they might already have window. So if you're just poking and doing damage and you're building your own window, that's just better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So always be aggressive with that. Too fast for me. 1 minute.
Their Ryan was going for an Earth Shatter, so I just lamped.
Yeah.
But Lucio booped him mid Earth Shatter, so he went flying into the air.
Yeah, that's what I started saying. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. He was in a weird position. Like here you need to focus a little more on healing, but it's fine. Ended up working. Okay.
I'm on fire.
I want to review your Zen a little bit. I think we're good on BAP. I don't think we need to look more BAP.